Southeast over Capitol Hill 48-0. Big rivalry game there. I feel like I have to mention that most of my family is either Southeast or Capitol Hill.
But there's another inner city school when we talk about these schools that may not have the amount of players.
Well, I pay attention to Southeast, Capitol Hill, and Grant specifically just for that reason.
Right.
Family that went there. The only time they have scores like this when they play each other. Usually they're getting killed 48-0. This is the only time Southeast is going to put up 48 points on anybody. Because they're in 5A, so Carl Albert, those kind of schools, they don't stand a chance. Another blowout score. Number 6 Ardmore shut out Altus 61-0. That one is a final.
Wow. Altus, how about this? Kokenar was let go after 3 weeks into the season.
Was this his first year?
Yeah.
Wow. That's it? The leash was 3 weeks long?
There's some stories I've heard behind the scenes, so who knows exactly what the reason is. But pretty crazy.
Moving on to 3 more blowout scores. I'll just go down the line. Tahlequah over Nathan Hale 61-6. Bishop Kelly big over Durant 55-7. And we'll end off 5A with number 5. Actually, I did this last time too. I didn't realize I'm reading the game of the week. The game you heard here on 107.7 The Franchise. Lott MacArthur big over El Reno 49-8.
And I'm wrong. Kokenar was in his 3rd year, but still, to start the season in high school.
3 years and 3 weeks?
Yeah. 2 years basically in 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. 2 and 3. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't seem like very long at all.
No. But I get it. There's some stuff behind it. So, anyway, that's it for him, but pretty interesting when you talk about Altus. 4A scores, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of blowouts in week 2 of district play, and it's weird, and it goes across all classes. When I'm looking at 4A here, let's start Clinton and Chickasha. Clinton, number 4 team, 54-14 over the Chicks. Stillwell, Fort Gibson wins 58-8. Grove over Catoosa, 56-20. Hara and John Marshall, this is a closer one that's gone final, 21-6 there, Hara the victor. Bethany, they knock off Elk City, 27-6. Newcastle over Cache, 21-7.
Hey, go Big Blue.
That's an upset right there.
Hey, we're taking care of business out there in 4A District 1.
And I would say, yeah, exactly. But I would say it's an upset just in the sense Newcastle coming in was 1-3 on the year, but they played some tough opponents. So Newcastle is one of those teams. I think they're going to be probably in the playoffs, and their record to start district play wasn't going to be that good. And when they get into district play, they're going to get up some wins and be able to make the playoffs there.
Well, you know what it was, and I hope Josh mentions it when we talk to him later. Newcastle went with the all-white uniforms tonight, and as Josh mentioned on Twitter before the game started, he has not seen them wear white pants since he started calling games for them.
Oh no!
Sounds like they need to wear those pants every single week.
Maybe that's a sign for Oklahoma fans.
Wear the all-white?
Well, because OU's wearing all-white tomorrow.
Well, if that's the case, we'll just wear white every week.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe it's a good sign for Oklahoma fans. Hey, here's this. Number 1 team in 4A, Tuttle, crushes Tecumseh tonight, 44-0. Ulaga shuts out Skiatook, 20-0. Broken Bow over Hilldale. Hilldale, the number 10 team in the state. Broken Bow with a record of 4-1 coming in. They win 31-21. You got to think they move into the top 10 this week. Number 3, Cushing crushes Classen, 53-16. Poto over McLean. Poto, number 2 in the state. They win 51-6. Other games from tonight in 4A, Elgin in a close one over Weatherford. This game in the 4th quarter still. Number 8, Weatherford trails Elgin 33-27 in the 4th. Muldrow over Sallisaw has gone final. Muldrow winning 27-6. Here's a defensive battle tonight. Bristow over number 5 Wagner in an upset, 3-0.
Is that score official?
That's what it says final.
3-0.
Yeah, that's very interesting in the update trail there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 2nd quarter, it was scoreless. Halftime scoreless. They scored in the 4th quarter to get the 3-0 win there.
And so I don't know much about either of those teams, but I can see that Wagner is 5th ranked in 4A.
Yeah, I mean,
and they were shut out. I don't know anything about Bristow.
I'm wondering if I'm missing something there on the COVID for that.
Well,
that's crazy.
I mean, is this a good time to say if you have a score? If the score is different than 3-0,
460-1077, or if I missed something and it's due to maybe the game was just called due to COVID reasons, But that's interesting right there.
We would love to know.
Yeah. And that's one other score. Blanchard, the number 9 team, over Ada tonight. 41-21. That game's in the 4th quarter still.
All right, we'll move down to 3A. we got some blowouts here, but there's also some good games. So I'll try to start.
Thank goodness.
I'll try to start with the games that sound like they were a little more fun to watch. Mount St. Mary currently leads McLeod 34-27. That one's in the fourth quarter. Number 10 Berryhill upset number 4 Verdigris 28-10. Here's a good game here. Number 6 Kingfisher trails Douglas 27-28. That one's in the fourth quarter. Sounds like there's an upset brewing there at Douglas. Sulphur big over Medill 42-21. That one's in the fourth quarter. Here's our first blowout in Class 3A. Number 7 Stigler shuts out Shakota 41-0. Jay over Inola 36-21. That one is a final. Number 3 Heritage Hall leads Perkins Tryon 35-20. That one is in the fourth quarter. Westville big over Sequoia Tahlequah 62-32. That one is a final. Anadarko getting back on track after starting 0-4. They beat Bridge Creek 37-15. Kingston over Lone Grove 29-17. That one is a final. Number 2 Lincoln Christian takes care of business against Locust Grove. The final score of that one 68-19. Plainview big over Dixon 42-8. That one is a final. And last but not least from 3A, Veneta big over Manford 52-20. That one is still in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so few, a little more competitive.
Okay, I lied. There is one more, and it's a blowout. But I'll just real quick. Paws Valley beats Little Axe 43-0.
I'm from the Norman area. Little Axe struggles. They've had I think about 2 good runs since they've become a high school in football. And I wouldn't say there were runs to do anything special other than make the playoffs. Feel sorry for that school district.
Yeah, nothing you said there was false. So we'll just leave it at that.
Even though they're not inner city, they're another one of those schools that doesn't have a huge turnout for their football team.
Yeah, we never played them in football in high school, but they weren't bad in other sports, I guess.
Right, other sports. Well, it goes back to just like 6A1 can be very competitive for the West Side teams and win titles for the West Side teams in basketball, where you don't need the huge numbers. Football, that's where you can have things catch up and bite you in the rear. And that's what you see in a lot of these schools. 2A scores, there's some close ones, some blowouts here. Prague over Meeker, 53-21, that game in the fourth quarter. Here's a score fest, and it's close right now in the fourth. Victory Christian and Kiefer, it's 48-42, Victory Christian right now in the fourth. Hennessy over Newkirk in the fourth, 36-28. A final Keys over Pecola, 26-19. Here's a big one. Crossings over Star Spencer. 72-12, the final there. Millwood knocks off Kellyville 26-6. Vian and Roland, it's a final. Vian wins 55-21. Metro Christian over Henrietta shut out them, and Metro Christian shuts them out 44-0. Eufaula over Hugo 14-7, the final there. Panama knocks off Heebner 42-12. That game actually in the third quarter. Cassia Hall over Spyro in the third, 49-7. Perry shutting out Blackwell in the third, 39-0. Washington rolling Bethel in the fourth, 56-18. Lexington over Holdenville, 34-28. That game is gone final. Rejoice Christian over Kansas, 63-26 in the fourth. Frederick and Colgate, it's a close one here in the fourth. Frederick leading 14-7. Davis in a close one over Comanche, 14-6. That game's in the fourth. Couple of other scores to pass along to you. Marlow over Lindsay, 45-6. That game's gone final. Oklahoma Christian School over Alba, 53-19. That game's gone final. Fourth quarter score, Tishomingo over Marietta, 52-20. Luther shutting out Chisholm in the fourth, 40-0. Also, this game at the half, though, no score since then. Community Christian over Crooked Oak, 49-0. Jones and Chandler has gone final. Jones holds on 29-26 in the 11 o'clock hour. We will get a report from Tony Wilson, and that guy also known as Lugnut. Purcell over Christian Heritage, 42-14. That game has gone final there. Haskell and Morris. Haskell winning 32-7. Sperry over Dewey in the fourth, 50-12. Also a fourth quarter score here. Idabel over Wilburton, 45-27. Eric? Class A?
Yeah, sorry, I was getting some breaks ready for our upcoming post-game show.
We'll be taking a break here around 9:56 and get you ready for the Prep Scoreboard Show.
Boy, I forget how many teams there are in A and 2A.
Yeah, right. Wait till you get to B.
See if I can remember how to say some of these schools. It's been so dang long. We'll start at the top here. Oklahoma Union, big over Wyandotte, 56-8. Stroud beats Liberty 50-28. Porter consolidated over Canadian 41-14. Number 5 Moreland gets the wins over Burns Flat Dale City 42-6. Number four Hooker takes care of Sayre 22-7. Hobart over Carnegie 21-8. The Minko Bulldogs, Sean Thurman's alma mater, hung half 100 on Cordell 50-12. I think Sean mentioned that's the second week in a row they've done that. Something special going on there in Minko. Elmore City Purnell shut out Stratford 50-0. Here's a blowout. Number 8 Pawhuska over Fairland 62-12. Number Woodland defeats Pawnee 28-8. Number 10 Tonquah over Crescent 25-6. Number 1 Reeling goes to Wynnewood, gets a win 48-13. First close game I've read here in Class A. Conawa currently leading Savannah 18-13. That one's in the fourth quarter. Gore big over Central Southsaw 61-6. That one is final. Number 9 Hominy gets the win over Caney Valley 47-14. Decently close game here. Dibble leads Helton 35-26. That one is in the fourth quarter. Number 2 Cashin, a little bit of a close game here against Oklahoma Christian Academy 39-28. That one is final. Mounds big over Wewoka 51-13. Colcord gets a 1-point win over Warner 22-21. Texoma leading Merritt. Oh, I'm sorry, this one's final. Texoma gets a win over Merritt 7-6. That might be the lowest scoring game we see. Well, no, you had the 3-0 game, didn't you?
Yeah, the Bristow game 3-0.
I was going to sit here and claim the lowest scoring game, but you already beat me to it. Allen falls to Okema 36-8. Chelsea falls to Morrison 48-20. Number 7 Wayne big win over Rush Springs 54-14. Commerce over Afton 52-7. And one last score from Class A. This one's final. Morrison over Chelsea, 49-20.
Wow, I mean, it's been a weird night of high school football in Oklahoma. Like I say, big scores. I know Grant Merrill's on the line, too. If you want to, I don't know if he's there, but he was earlier. I know he said he was connected. We can even ask him a couple of questions, because I've got that East Side question for him. Grant, are you there, buddy?
Yes.
Hey,
can
man.
You hear me?
I got you, man. Hey.
1, 2.
Hey, I got you. Before we get the prep scoreboard show here, I don't know if you heard me give the Bristow score. Did I miss something? Was that a forfeit? I mean, 3-0?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything of that nature.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't think it was either, and I couldn't find anything. That's an incredible low score. That's the only reason I was wondering there. I mean...
Yeah, I haven't heard anything that would indicate that was a forfeit or anything like that. I will tell you that game you reported about Oklahoma Christian and Alva...
Right.
They played that at 1:30 this afternoon because apparently the referees that were scheduled for tonight bailed.
So who refed it?
Yeah, and so they had to find another crew that could work that afternoon, and they played a daytime game in the middle of the school day today. So
that's interesting. You see that in a lot of, like inner city schools like in the Chicago area and everything like that playing afternoon games. Not in Oklahoma, though.
No, but they did it in Alva today. So Class 2A balls going afternoon games. Next we'll have 11 o'clock kickoffs.
No doubt. Great. Don't suggest that. We already get enough of those in this state. We don't need any more in any form of football. Little League already does that to parents, right?
Yes.
Hey, anything that caught your eye tonight so far in the few scores we've read?
I was kind of watching some of the games on TV earlier tonight since I'm in the recliner this evening. But, Owasso ended up down 14-0 before they ever scored. That was kind of something that was different, but they ended up coming back. And, you talked about that 3-0 game with Bristow and Wagner. Wagner losing is something.
Not only scoring 3 in a loss. I mean, nothing. I mean, being shut out. Yeah, it's crazy.
And so, here we are. I'm sitting here watching the Twitter, and a lot of people are asking the same question: what's the lowdown on this game? But it was apparently 3-0.
That's insane. I mean, I looked up and I couldn't find it. So, I mean, that's just crazy. Hey, Grant, we're going to take a timeout and then we'll be back. We'll open our scoreboard show right after this, right here on 107.7 The Franchise.
Lock Supply in Oklahoma City is the Southwest's premier provider of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC supplies. Since 1955, Lock Supply has grown from a small store in Bartlesville to over 180 branches in 7 states, employing over 1,300 employee owners. Are you ready to consider a career where hard work and loyalty matter? Work for a company that is driven to make sure that the team members have the ability to retire comfortably. Thought what it would be like to work at a 100% employee-owned company. Lock Supply has many incredible full-time opportunities at local branches or in their warehouse. With medical benefits, a 401k program, and an employee stock ownership plan, Lock Supply is not just a great place to work, it's a great place to have a career. For more information, visit locksupply.com and follow the link under career, or just email your resume to careers@locksupply.com. Again, that's careers@LOCKEsupply.com.
Calling all outdoorsmen. You can't afford to miss this. Oakeyland Bowhunters and Park Ridge Medical Clinic are giving you and a friend the trip of a lifetime hunting mule deer in the Tetons. Airfare, tags and licenses, lodging, meals, and a private guide, plus a brand new bow from Oakeyland Bowhunters. Visit the Oakeyland Bowhunters Pro Shop and Indoor Range at 325 Opportunity Drive in Norman, now through November 28th to register.
You're simply the best. When you're hungry for the best, head to Riverwind.
Biggest and best buffet in the metro.
The best in pub food at Chips and Ales.
And if you're hungry for a big win,
Don't miss our $80,000 Monster Mansion of money.
With 5 times entries, Mondays and Tuesdays.
Jeff Marr, 4301 Southwest 3rd Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention homeowners with State Farm earthquake insurance from 2011 to present. Was your home damaged in an Oklahoma earthquake? Did you submit an insurance claim to State Farm? Did State Farm deny or lowball your claim? If so, it is not too late to recover the compensation you deserve. Between 2011 and 2017, Oklahoma experienced a dramatic increase in the rate and magnitude of earthquakes. These quakes caused significant damage to homes in Oklahoma. Insurance companies often deny claims for earthquake damage in Oklahoma, leaving you with an unsafe home and expensive repairs. If your claim was denied or underpaid because of so-called pre-existing damage, unrelated earth settlement, or for any other reason, you may be entitled to significant cash recovery from State Farm. The Marr Law Firm has experience fighting for homeowners like you. Call now for a free evaluation of your claim.
Please call 800-390-5892. That is 800-390-5892.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
These are the final days, the final hours of Diamonds Direct's incredible finance offer. You have until Saturday at 6 p.m. to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing. That's on any purchase. Buy now. Spread your payments over 5 whole years with zero interest. Response has been incredible, but this amazing offer comes to an end on Saturday and will not be extended. Don't miss the year's best buying opportunity at Diamonds Direct. 5 years zero interest through Saturday at 6 p.m. Get directions, details, and more now at diamondsdirect.com.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup. From GameDayOklahoma.com, this is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
Pike Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products, by the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scoredle app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
And hello, Oklahoma. Welcome in to the Prep Sports postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab on 22 great radio stations across the state of Oklahoma. I am Grant Merrill coming to you from luxurious Merrill Manor in South Tulsa tonight. I would love to be in studio with everybody, but I was a little under the weather and wanted to be responsible because I'm not going to be the one that infects Randy Heights with some sort of virus on the week of OU Texas.
Grant, that's the key. It's just the week. Any other day, not that I want any virus, but I'm okay with a few days off. I just don't need it next week.
We don't need, you've got trips down south planned. We're not going to do this. So, at some point in the show, my dog may try to co-host. It's just something we're going to have to live with. I don't know. But we appreciate each and every one of you who are in on the show with us tonight. Let's get right to the NES scoreboard. It is powered by Squirtle, and we've got a lot of scores going final. Some of you on the flagship heard Randy and Eric talking a little bit about some of those scores, so we'll repeat some of them for you tonight. It is a final, and we'll talk to Chris Lincoln about this one here in the next few minutes. Union beats Putnam City Original tonight. Final score there, 35-7. Jinx going final over Broken Arrow. Trojans moving to 4-1 on the season, 31-14. The final score there. Edmond Santa Fe going final over Westmore, 41-10. Edmond North falling to Moore tonight. Lions winning that one, 41-14. Norman North trailing Owasso. This one only in the third quarter right now, 56-28. Owasso had trailed 14-0 early in the first quarter, and then came back with an explosion of points, as of course their backs were against the wall, but they look to win that one handily tonight. Mustang beating Southmore, blanking them 54-0. It was UConn over Enid tonight, 20-7. Tom Nelson will join us with that one coming up here in the next few minutes. Last check, we had a fourth quarter score of Norman leading Edmond Memorial 45-28. 6A2 scores, have a few of those going final as the Sandites of Sand Springs beat Muskogee 48-34 tonight. Del City beating Stillwater in last night's action 30-7. Bixby, wow, Spartans winning over Putnam City West 81-6.
Hey, Grant, I don't know if you heard me say halftime score of that one, 67-0.
All I know is that I was listening to our Tulsa affiliate 97.1, and Sean Tiemann was doing his postgame show a few minutes ago, and, I didn't know he could add that high, but it was a lot of stats and a lot of numbers tonight. 81-6 final is, of course, the Bixby Spartans remain untouched. Deer Creek is in our Squirtle game of the week tonight, beating Putnam City North. Final score on that one, 38-13. Choctaw blanks Ponca City, 36-0. Lawton beats Northwest Classic. Final score 65-12. U.S. Grant falling to Midwest City. That's fourth quarter action as far as we know, 47-8. The latest score in that one. Booker T. Washington. Wow, it's a bad time for the Bartlesville Bruins this year. Booker T. Hornets winning that one 66-0. 5A scores, Mr. Heights.
Yeah, let's go through some 5A scores here because, again, a lot of lopsided scores across the state of Oklahoma in all classes. 5A, Noble and Duncan. Noble wins tonight 63-27. Shawnee over Edison Prep 34-7. Claremore knocks off Tulsa Memorial 26-0. Bishop McGuinness gets back in the winning track tonight. They knock off Woodward 45-14. A final here. This one was a close one. Pryor over Glenpool, 38-37 the final there. MacArthur over El Reno, 49-8 the final. Coweta over Will Rogers tonight, 55-14. Ardmore with a shutout of Altus, 61-0. Tahlequah over Nathan Hale, 61-6. Bishop Kelly Big over Durant, 55-7. Lawton Ike over Western Heights, 67-0. Don't know if you heard this note earlier from Eric King, our producer. He was talking about Western Heights. 17 players made the trip down to Lawton tonight to take on Lawton.
Oh, wow.
That's just insane. Yeah, Ike winning 67-0. Carl Albert, they win tonight in a close one with a late score over Guthrie. Guthrie was number 4 in the state coming in tonight. In 5A, Carl Albert, number 8. They get the victory. The Titans do tonight, 22-19. Piedmont big over Guyman, 70-6 there. Southeast over Capitol Hill, 48-0. Collinsville over Sapulpa. 43-13, and McAllister, they roll East Central 62-6.
Class 4A, Groves Ridge Runners making it 2 in a row as they go undefeated, beating Catoosa tonight 56-27. This one sounds like an NFL score, but Cleveland beats Miami tonight, 38-24. Ada falling to Blanchard. Final score in that one 41-27. Bethany beats Elk City 27-6. That's notable, Randy, as Elk City was undefeated going into this ball game tonight. Tuttle beating Tecumseh 44-0. It was Poto's Pirates over McLean 51-6. Elgin beating Weatherford 33-27. Fort Gibson whipping up on Stillwell 58-8. Cushing beating Classen SAS 53-16. Muldrow beating Sallisaw. My dad's alma mater beating my mom's alma mater. Both of them 1-3 heading into the ball game. Bulldogs win that one 27-6. Here's that low-scoring affair between Bristow and Wagner. Bristow wins that one 3-0. Action-packed game there. Clinton beating Clinton beating Chickasha 54-14. Broken Bow in the fourth quarter, leading Hilldale 38-28. It was Hara beating John Marshall tonight 21-6. Newcastle over Cash 21-7. Oologah beating Skytook tonight 20-0.
All right, let's go through the Class 3A scoreboard here as we look at Oklahoma high school football in Week 2 of district play tonight. Kingfisher over Douglas, 30-28. Mount St. Mary's and McLeod. That game's gone final. St. Mary's winning 34-27. Heritage Hall over Perkins Tryon, 35-20. Kingston, they knock off Lone Grove, 29-17 the final there. Sequoia Tahlequah and Westville winning 60-32. Veneta over Manford 52-20. That game in the fourth quarter. Another fourth quarter scorer, Lincoln Christian and Locust Grove. Lincoln Christian leading 68-19. Anadarko over Bridge Creek tonight in a final 36-15. Jay over Inola 36-21. Plainview and Dixon, this game's gone final. Plainview winning 42-8. Medill over Sulphur upsets number 8 Medill 42-27. Pauls Valley over Little Axe 43-0. That game has gone final as well. Number 7 Stigler over Chakota 41-0. And here we have it, one last final for you. Berry Hill over Verdigris 28-10. Berry Hill, number 10, knocks off that number 4 team in Verdigris, again, 28-10.
Right, mind if I interrupt really fast? We got a call from somebody who was at the Bristow and Wagner game.
Yeah.
And he explained what happened. That score is accurate. It was tied 0-0 with a couple minutes to go. Wagner drove down the field and missed a 25-yard field goal.
Wow.
So Bristow got the ball back, went down the other side of the field, hit a 47-yard field goal with 6 seconds left. 3-0.
All right, Class 2A scores tonight. Victory Christian up on Kiefer 58-42 in fourth quarter action. Hennessy beats Newkirk tonight 36-28. Panama over Heavener 42-12 in a LaFleur County matchup. Community Christian beating Crooked Oak 52-7. Star Spencer falling to Crossings 72-12. The final score in that one. It was Chandler falling to Jones, 29-26. Tony Wilson joining us in the next hour to talk about that one. Prague beats Meeker tonight, 53-21. It was Washington over Bethel, 56-18. Sperry beats Dewey tonight, 50-12. Idabel over Wilburton, 45-27. Keys over Pecola, 26-19. Cassia Hall over Spiro in the third quarter at last report, 49-7. Blackwell falling to Perry. Maroons winning that one, 39-0. Guess Maroons losing that one, too. Luther over Chisholm, 47-0. It was Lexington over Holdenville, 34-28. Rejoice Christian, Brent Marley's Eagles beating Kansas tonight, 63-26. Marietta falling to Tishomingo, 52-20. Frederick over Colgate, 14-7. Davis over Comanche, 14-6. Marlowe over Lindsay, 45-6. Comanche and Davis, no score in that one. Well, no, we just reported that one. Never mind. Hang on just a second. It was in earlier action today, a game that was played this afternoon. Oklahoma Christian School beating Alva 53-19. Haskell over Morris tonight, 32-7. Millwood beats Kellyville 26-6. Vian over Roland 55-21. Purcell over Christian Heritage 42-14. It was Metro Christian blanking Henrietta 44-0. Eufaula over Hugo 14-7. Salina falling to Sequoia Claremore 34-15. It was Antlers over Atoka 22-13. It was Beggs beating Okmulgee tonight. Final score 38-14. Adair over Nowata 56, and Hartsford over Valiant 34-0. We would love to interact with you on Twitter tonight. I am at Grant Merrill. That's Merrill. He is at RJ Heights 1077. We will have A, B, and C scores as we move through the course of the show. When we come back, Chris Lincoln has a report on Union and Putnam City. We've got Todd Miller joining us later in the show as well for the Squirtle Game of the Week report. Tom Nelson with Enid Yukon and Adam Hildebrand coming up as well as Chris Evans on that Guthrie-Carl Albert matchup from earlier in the evening. Hang with us. This is the Prep Sports Postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab, and you're listening to the GameDayOklahoma.com network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silke is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 918-665-5502 today.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the freshest lineup of SUVs in America for everyone. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. Based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10/5/20. Visit your Oklahoma Ford dealer to take advantage of great offers available now on Ford Escape, Edge, Explorer, and Expedition. Choose from low financing and big cash rebates. See your best in Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Jeff Marr, 4301 Southwest 3rd Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention homeowners with State Farm earthquake insurance from 2011 to present. Was your home damaged in an Oklahoma earthquake? Did you submit an insurance claim to State Farm? Did State Farm deny or lowball your claim? If so, it is not too late to recover the compensation you deserve. Between 2011 and 2017, Oklahoma experienced a dramatic increase in the rate and magnitude of earthquakes. These quakes caused significant damage to homes in Oklahoma. Insurance companies often deny claims for earthquake damage in Oklahoma, leaving you with an unsafe home and expensive repairs. If your claim was denied or underpaid because of so-called pre-existing damage, unrelated earth settlement, or for any other reason, you may be entitled to significant cash recovery from State Farm. The Marr Law Firm has experience fighting for homeowners like you. Call now for a free evaluation of your claim.
Please call 800-390-5892. That is 800-390-5892.
It's the classic dilemma at Whataburger. You pick up your patty melt with 2 fresh all-beef patties, melted Monterey Jack cheese, grilled onions, and creamy pepper sauce. And just when you're about to dig into Whataburger's take on this all-time classic, someone utters the dreaded words.
Can I have a bite?
Should you? Shouldn't you? Maybe you just take a big bite so you don't have to answer. Good thing that dilemma's over. Good thing there's the patty melt at Whataburger.
All right, we welcome you back to the Prep Sports Postgame. I'm Grant Merrill coming to you from Tulsa tonight, back in the studios of 107.7 The Franchise. Randy Heiss and Eric King, and we've got stations around the state following our broadcast this evening. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go to somewhere around Putnam City where the legendary Chris Lincoln joins us on the show tonight. He had the call. I listened to the call of Union and Putnam City this evening, and sounded like it was all Union all the time, Chris.
Yeah, got to a bit of a slow start, Grant. In fact, Union's their first road game as we start the month of October after having 4 games at Union's brand-new stadium. They finally get on the road and kind of had a tough time getting untracked. They didn't scoreless first quarter. They finally got on the board with Ravon Banks, the reserve quarterback. He took the place of Grayson Tempest, who hurt his ankle at the end of the Owasso game last week, and he's going to be out apparently for several weeks. So Ravon Banks, who is a senior, had come in and played a lot of quarterback last year and did a nice job for Union tonight. He was 10 of 16 passing, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also rushed for 75 yards, so for 40 yards. Junior Smith ran for 75 yards in the game. But after the first score was 7-0, with Ravon Banks and a 1-yard touchdown run, then coming back, PC came back and tied the game 7-7 with 30 seconds left in the second quarter. We went into halftime with a 7-7 game, which I had to shock a lot of people around the state. As number 2 Union is getting pushed pretty good by Putnam City there. In the third quarter, Banks had another 1-yard touchdown run. That made it 14-7. Then with 10:23 left in the fourth quarter, Union scored the first of their 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns to put this game away. Gino Boyd, who was our player of the game with 4 catches, 108 yards for the sophomore, and 2 touchdowns. He scored on a 26-yard pass from Ravon Banks. That was made it 21-7. Then Gabe Ford had the defensive player of the game for Union, the big inside linebacker, 5'10", 220-pound senior, took the ball away from the running back and sprinted down the sideline for 44 yards and a touchdown. Extra point was good, as always, by T.J. Cowan, 28-7. And the scoring wrapped up with 4:58 to play in the game as Gino Boyd, again, a 56-yard, beautiful touchdown pass from Ravon Banks. That made it 35-7, the final score. And Union now is 4-1 on the season. Most importantly, 2-0 in district play. They'll return home next Friday. Granted, it's homecoming for Union, as they'll be hosting Mustang. And I'll tell you, not a good night for Putnam City. They just got hammered. Here was 35-7, but I'm sure you saw the Bixby Putnam West score was 81-14.
Yeah,
wow.
Spartans just squeaked by on that one, Chris. So.
It's something else, I'll tell you. But
All
yeah,
right.
Union finally shook things loose and dominated the end of the game, and they went in here 35-7 over Putnam City.
Okay, Chris, appreciate you being with us today.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right. Chris Lincoln called the Union game on KRMG tonight. Let's go to our play-by-play broadcaster for the Squirtle Game of the Week. Todd Miller had a big one with Deer Creek, and we stay in the Putnam City School District as they were out at Putnam City West tonight. It was all Deer Creek all the time tonight, Todd.
You know, when we decided to do this game, we thought it was going to be a great matchup. In fact, it was picked by some prognosticators as a 1-point ball game, and I thought probably 7 to 10 points either way might decide it. But boy, we did not get that type of game tonight. Deer Creek jumped on the Panthers early, and they did not let up. They led 28-0 at halftime, but at 35-0 before PC North even got on the board. And it was really, really a tough night for the homecoming celebrating Panthers as they fall to 1-1 in the district. And take it on the chin to Deer Creek 38-13. You know, I think people poop-on a little bit the Antlers' 3-0 start because of the teams they had beaten. Well, I can tell you this is a really good football team. They're less than 2 minutes away from being 5-0, and their quarterback, Brett Pence, really had a big night tonight. He threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 1, and the secondary played Carson Laverty very, very well, and the front was able to get a lot of pressure for Deer Creek on the junior quarterback. So a tough night all the way around if you're a North fan, a really good night if you're an Antler fan.
And your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight, who's that?
Pretty easy selection. Brett Pence, the senior quarterback for Deer Creek. As I told you, he threw for 3, ran for 1, and he was just really, really good. At times, the Antlers had to play from behind the chains, but it seemed like every time they needed a big play from him through the air, Brett Pence delivered it. He's got a great arm. and it was on display tonight. He's an outstanding pitcher for a great high school baseball program at Deer Creek, and you could see that tonight with a lot of his pinpoint precision passes that were bullets over the middle of the field.
All right, Todd, we don't know where you'll be, but we'll talk to you sometime next week.
Yes, sir. Get feeling better.
All right, thank you. Todd Miller joining us here totday. All right, let's go to Tom Nelson. He had, he didn't have the call, but he was out between Enid. Well, he had watched the Enid game tonight. How was it, Tom?
Well, it was homecoming in Enid, a bit of a disappointing night for the Plainsmen, and I tell you what, they will be thinking all weekend long about what could have been as they lose tonight 20-7 to UConn. Enid had 3 opportunities, started 3 drives in the first half inside the UConn 33-yard line, only scored 1 time, led 7-0 at halftime. Big momentum switch early in the third quarter. UConn gets an interception. They immediately go down 55 yards in a drive to tie it up with about 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. And then the next possession for the Plainsmen, 4th down, a blocked punt by UConn, returned 20 yards for a touchdown by Parker Means. That put UConn on top 14-7 with 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Then they add a touchdown late in the third quarter, a 50-yard touchdown run by Joe White. Final score 20-7. And, Enid held UConn to 27 total yards in the first half, had so many opportunities to score and could not do it. And they fall tonight 20-7. So the Plainsmen now are 2-3 on the season. They're at Westmore next Thursday. UConn is 2-3, and they host Santa Fe next Friday. So disappointing night, homecoming for the Plains. They haven't won a homecoming game in years. Thought it might happen tonight, but not the case.
And let me tell you, Santa Fe rolling right now, too. Oh, guess Tom's gone.
I guess we lost Tom. Sorry about that.
Santa Fe's rolling, Grant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there Tom, we go. Hey, are you still got me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got you.
Okay, I've got to give a shout-out tonight at a different game, 8-man football game out here in the Panhandle. Beaver Dusters knock off Corn Bible Academy 46-6 tonight. Head coach, the Beaver Dusters, head coach Tanner Bowman picks up his first career win. He led Cherokee to a state title back in 2013, and he gets his first career coaching win tonight. So big ups to the Beaver Dusters and Tebow out there in the Panhandle.
Awesome. Well, Tom, you'll be proud to know, since we're talking Panhandle, that in the next hour we will have our first ever report from Boise City, as Ben Buckwood made the trip out there tonight. So,
he'll be driving home for a while.
He'll get home about sunrise. That's okay.
Exactly. And he'll see the sunrise very nicely out there as well.
Watch out for the animals running across Highway 3.
And who you got? You're back behind the microphone next week, aren't you, Tom?
I believe next Friday night I will be in Garber as Pioneer takes on Garber, a big Class B district matchup. I'm looking forward to it. I love calling 8-man games. I have a good time calling 8-man football. I'll be doing it again next Friday night. So,
all right, brother. Thanks for being with us.
You betcha. Have a good one and get well.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. That is Tom Miller joining us. He, of course, watched Enid at UConn tonight. Carl Albert at Guthrie, a big ball game at the oldest stadium in Oklahoma, or at least one of the most legendary sites, as Braden Conover was there. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are y'all?
Good, man.
Doing well. Talk to us about those two tonight.
I mean, what a ball game at the Rock tonight. 22-19 is the final score in favor of Carl Albert. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, this game was crazy from start to finish. Guthrie took the opening kick actually they muffed the opening kick, only received the ball on their own 10-yard line, but they drove 90 yards to take an early 6-0 lead in the first quarter. Took a lot of clock off in that first quarter. Carl Albert actually established their first offensive possession with 5:27 left, and they countered with their own touchdown. But after making the extra point, they actually took the lead, 7-6. That's before a couple of punts by each side before Guthrie takes a touchdown on a 2-minute and 55-second drive to make it 12-7 after a blocked extra point. And then, both teams traded blows early. It's kind of like a heavyweight fight here in 5A District 2. A couple of heavyweights just filling each other out, setting up some jabs for some big counters and big hooks. And we didn't really even see that until late, because after 1, 2, 2 punts to start the second half, a touchdown by Carl Albert to take a lead, a couple of punts by Guthrie again, an interception by Guthrie. It looked like Carl Albert was going to pull away with it. However, with 1:06 left in the ball game, Guthrie gets a scoring drive put together to take the lead. Carl Albert, 19-15, Guthrie took the lead. And then Carl Albert, a 4-play drive, ending in a touchdown with 4 seconds left.
Wow. Who is your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
It's got to be the quarterback, Reed DeQuazy. He stepped up absolutely when he needed to. His back was against the wall a couple times. His offensive line was holding on for dear life all night, and the kid got it done. He found Xavier Thomas on that final drive, and then finally Kentrell Bazell in the end zone. And it's just one of the wildest finishes I've ever seen. And of course, it had to happen at the Rock. So if you guys actually want to watch it, it'll be on Oklahoma Sports Network. oksports.net is where you can find that finish. It was myself and Kirk Norman on the call.
Hey, Braden, real quick question for you. You've talked about Carl Albert. Did they look a little closer to the Carl Albert you're used to seeing?
Yes, they did. In fact, you can tell there's a difference between that first quarter, that second quarter, the third quarter, and especially the fourth quarter. We saw the Carl Albert Titans grow up in front of our eyes tonight.
All right. Appreciate your call, Braden. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the voice of the Broken Arrow Tigers. They had jinx tonight. Not the way Broken Arrow wanted it, Adam Hildebrandt, but good game nonetheless.
Yeah, the Tigers kind of stayed in there and fought, especially in the second half. Held Jinx to 3 points in the second half, but couldn't get the offense going. And really kind of figured out some things in terms of run defense in the second half of that game, too. So certainly some strides made on the defensive end of the ball, a defensive touchdown as well. That's 3 weeks out of 5 now that the defense or the special teams has put points on the board for Broken Arrow, but offense just wasn't able to get it going.
Well, who is your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
Got to be Dietrich Moore tonight. He had a pick six that tied the game up in the second quarter after Jinx jumped out 14-0. Broken Arrow was able to get an offensive touchdown, and then Moore early on in the next drive got the pick six to tie it up. And he had some, laid down some big hits over the course of the game, was kind of flying all over the field. Dietrich Moore would be my guy tonight.
All right, next up for Broken Arrow.
Next up is Edmond Memorial. I will actually not be on the call of that one, so I won't be able to call next week. I'm taking a little week off, but
okay.
Yeah, they'll be heading down to Edmond for that one and trying to get back above 500 in district play.
Well, and your beloved Cowboys have Baylor tomorrow.
Yeah, that should be a real good one. There's a lot to look for in that one. Baylor has been ridiculously good in the punt game. They've only had no drive start in their own territory for the opponent so far this year, and they've only had one start outside the opponent's 36. So they've been really good in terms of winning the field position battle, and Oklahoma State's going to have to figure out a way to try to chip away at that a little bit.
All right, we'll be listening to you on the pregame show tomorrow. Thank you, Adam.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Adam Hildebrandt, voice of the Broken Arrow Tigers on Arrowvision.tv. It's gone final at Owasso. Rams beat Norman North tonight 70-28. Coming up, we will have more calls after the bottom of the hour as we go from every quarter of the state tonight, or go to every quarter of the state tonight. This is the Prep Sports Postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed, and if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athletes. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is time to share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com LegacyAgency.com and find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at LegacyLLC.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
The franchise.
I barely felt anything, and it was over in less than 10 minutes.
Almost instantaneously, when I sat up, you could tell a difference.
Patient after patient after patient proclaims profound surprise and delight at the speed and simplicity of their LASIK from Dr. Luke's team at Clearsight.
So one of the most common things I hear after doing LASIK is, you know what, Doc, I can't believe how fast that was.
I got up off the table and was like, that's it.
It starts with a free, no obligation eye exam. Have your free exam at Clearsight by October 31st and get a new pair of Maui Jim, Ray-Ban, or Kate Spade sunglasses on us when you have your LASIK.
The experience of it being easy just shows how complex and how far we've come to make it easy for the patient.
Call 733-2020 or visit Clearsight.com. And remember,
2020 or it's free.
That's the Clearsight guarantee. And you are going to love what you see.
One of the most simple procedures you could ever have to improve your life so drastically.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-283-2427. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-283-2427. 800-283-2427. 800-283-2427.
Back here on the Prep Sports Postgame across the great state of Oklahoma. It's all brought to you by Aspen Health and Rehab, your long-term care solution in northeastern Oklahoma. If your loved one is looking for long-term health care, no better choice than Aspen Health and Rehab. Be sure and call them on Monday and book an appointment, book a tour. I promise you will be loving what you see for your family member. All right, let's go back to the Rogers State University in-studio hotline where we go to Ponca City, the voice of the Wildcats on KPNC, Jordan Woodruff. Jordan, not quite the outing that the Wildcats wanted with Choctaw coming to town. 36-0 final score there.
Yeah, and last year, guys, Ponca City played Choctaw as well as anybody in the state to 6 points, but this year wasn't that case at all. Choctaw, talent all over the field. And I can't say enough about Deshaun Brown. He's announced, leading probably pass rusher, edge rusher in the state. He is looking at committing, I think, on October 31st, Halloween. A lot of people think he'll end up at Oklahoma State. And he was the real deal tonight. I had him down for 3 sacks. He had just took the ball away from the quarterback one time on a sack and then ran it into the end zone, had a blocked field goal as well. And Choctaw, really, that strip that he had changed the game. It's 15-0. They get that. It goes to 22-0, and then Ponca just didn't have an answer at all. Ponca's offense only got 3 first downs the whole night.
Your Martinez Agency player of the game, who is it tonight?
I think I got to go with Choctaw's Deshaun Brown. Real deal tonight, all over the field, and that guy got a chance to be not only a great high school player, which he already is, got a chance to be a good college player later on as well, and we'll see if he stays right here in the state of Oklahoma.
Hey, Jordan, real fast. Choctaw, you got to see them tonight, and I know you've seen them last year. How do they compare to last year's team?
Well, I think Steele Wassel is a little bit more comfortable out there at the quarterback position, which you would think. They have a couple of guys, I think, that run the ball very well, even though Steele Wassel's great at passing. He had 3 pass touchdowns tonight. Latrell Ray, he got a little shaken up in the first half. They put in a freshman, Juju Smith. He was really impressive. They got guys they can throw the ball to. R.J. Jackson, their tight end. He's emerging as really a top recruit in the state of Oklahoma. Got a chance to talk to a few people about him, and he's starting to go up the list as a tight end, which they playing split out a lot in that slot spot as well. So I think their defense, it was good last year. It may be a step up this year. They get tremendous pressure on the quarterback. And then offensively, I mean, I think they got the weapons. And I think the number 2 ranking in the state is very warranted. And I know a lot of people got it marked down for them at Bixby to play later this year. Hey, mark me down. I kind of want to see that too.
Perfect. Next up for Ponca City, who we got?
Putnam City West, so a very winnable game coming up next Friday for the Wildcats. And they'll be trying to get their first district win against the Patriots.
All right. Appreciate your call tonight, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, Jordan Woodruff, voice of the Ponca City Wildcats on 101 Country KPNC. Exciting night for the Owasso Rams. Head coach Bill Blankenship joining us says the Rams go up big tonight. Let's see, what was the final score there? 70-28 tonight, Coach? Coach, are you there?
Coach?
Well, I'm not hearing Coach Blankenship. Let's try it one more time. Coach, you with us?
I think you got the wrong Bill on the other end of the line, guys.
Oh, which Bill do we have here?
How about the rougher version of Bill?
Oh, my gosh. I thought I had Bill Blankenship, and I got an equally as important man in Green Country, Bill Huddleston, voice of the Muskogee Roughers. We'll get with Bill Blankenship here in the next few minutes. But, Mr. Huddleston, Sand Springs and Muskogee tonight, Roughers and Sandites. That was a close game for quite a while, my friend.
Well, we made the statement during the broadcast tonight at Indian Bowl. You know, the State Fair opened this week in Tulsa. It was like a State Fair atmosphere because it was homecoming for Muskogee, and Sand Springs having a first time since 2012 to go 5-0. Muskogee got the first score, but then the Sandites answered with 2 quick scores, and then all of a sudden, it's a 20-20 ball game. But Muskogee scored with 1:09 left to go in the quarter before halftime, gave the ball to Sand Springs, and they promptly, in quick fashion, marched the field to score before halftime to go up 27-20. That led to the second half kickoff, and for the second time on the night, Jacob Blevins had a fantastic kick return. He took one in the first half the distance, but it got called back because of a holding penalty. To start the third quarter, perhaps the fireworks went off for the Sandites when Blevins went 99 yards plus to the end zone. That made it a 2-score difference, and that's pretty much the way it would stay the rest of the night. It was a big night for Blevins. He had 5 receptions for 102 yards, but he had the big kickoff return. Muskogee had a great night for their freshman quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin. Bird threw for 22 of 31 for 472 yards on the night. But still, it was opportunities capitalized on the part of Bobby Klink's squad that earned them the victory here tonight. They got a scoop and score when Muskogee was threatening late in the fourth quarter that put it back to a 3-touchdown difference. And it was just taking advantage of every opportunity at the right time. And the Sandites deserved the win at Indian Bowl as they improved to 5-0 with a 48-34 victory.
Big year so far for the Sand Springs Sandites. And, Bill, your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that?
Well, if you give me a truth serum, I got to say the difference maker tonight was Jacob Blevins at Sand Springs. Like I said, he had 1 kickoff return that was 99 yards plus, and that got called back. But he says, okay, you took 1 away from me. I'll prove you I can do it again. And he opened the second half with that big kickoff. That kind of changed the entire ebb and flow of the ball game as far as the Sandites were concerned. They made things happen when they had opportunities. And like I said, they improved to 5-0 with a 48-34 win as Muskogee drops to 1-4 and 1-1 in district play.
Next up for the Roughers.
Roughers get to go bear hunting. They're going to travel to Bartlesville to take on the Bruins. next Friday night. So
well, Bruins are knocked around and sore tonight after losing to Booker T 66-0. You know what the best news I can give you tonight is, Bill Huddleston?
I'm anxiously waiting.
You do not have to go to Jefferson City, Missouri tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got a 2:00 kickoff at Doc Weldey Stadium, Gable Field, homecoming for Northeastern State as they try to pick up yet another victory against the Mules of Central Missouri, who surprisingly, in everybody's mind, in the MIAA, are coming in to Doc Weldey Stadium at 0-4 after being picked number 2 in the preseason poll.
Well, you had a barn burner last week, 49-48. Riverhawks won it in overtime.
Yeah, a barn burner that had a lot of ebbs and flows, just like this ball game here did here tonight. The only good thing was the victory made the 5.5-hour road trip back home a whole lot more enjoyable.
I bet it did. Well, thank you for calling in tonight, Bill. We'll try to call you by the right name on the first time next time. So,
hey, I'm taking this as a compliment. You call me Bill Blankenship, I'll go for that any day of the week because he is number one in my books. He's a top-notch fella.
And mine, too. Appreciate you, Bill Huddleston. Thank you. Let's go to the voice of the Oologah Mustangs, and that is the one and only Brent Kellogg. Brent, how are you tonight?
Well, gentlemen, I'm great. It was homecoming on the Western Plains of Rogers County, and Skiatook Bulldogs came, and Oologah took care of business. Good to kind of get us back on the winning track, and the Mustangs kind of won this game on the ground, rushed for 292, and Mustangs had 402 total offense against Skiatook's 229 total offense. And I tell you, our quarterback, Joe Griswold, we call him JoJo, he had a heck of a night. Passed for a touchdown, he rushed for 2 touchdowns, and he would actually be my player of the game. But you guys are statewide, so I want to talk about another game if I can do that without getting a penalty.
Sure. Go ahead.
Antlers, and so it's a rivalry game down in southeastern Oklahoma. I was born in Antlers. I have a lot of family in Atoka, and I don't know if you guys have talked about that, but the Antlers-Atoka game, it's a big rivalry game there. And so the Antlers Bearcats coming out on top of Atoka, 22-16. So that's a pretty interesting game down south.
Well, I know that Atoka has good football and a very active state trooper there on Highway 75. So,
yeah.
Well, you mentioned who your player of the game was. Next up for the Oologah Mustangs.
We're on the road. We're going to Miami. And so what's interesting, and you guys are watching this, in this district we play in, 483 hosts. I mean, Wagner's a part of that district. Bristow's a part of that district. Grove's a part of it. There's some good football in that district. Of course, with Wagner losing a close one tonight, man, Grove is just rolling. They're steamrolling. So we're actually on the road next week to Miami. It's an important game for us in district play.
Well, and real quickly, I know I mentioned it on the halftime show that I recorded with you earlier today, Brent, but I wanted to just say it on statewide radio. Oologah, Claremore, Tulsa public school districts losing a great mentor in Dr. Keith Ballard, who died earlier this week. He was, of course, the superintendent at all 3 of those districts, and they are laying him to rest tomorrow. Died at 72 after a battle with ALS. But, man, he was your superintendent when you were in school, and I can't tell you how many different people I've talked to this week that said, he was the man in education. And I just want to extend my condolences to Matthew Ballard, my friend who's the prosecuting attorney there in Rogers County, and just, say what a wonderful man that was, and he's going to be incredibly missed.
I hear the word mentor a lot when I talk to educators in all the school districts I'm attached to. Keith was just that guy. He was at the Oologah district, I think, right around 18 years. But what got him national recognition, if you remember April of 1991, most of our campus was wiped out by a huge tornado, and Mr. Ballard brought the community together. We started class in August on that. I don't even think that can happen today. And Dr. Ballard, just an incredible leader in a lot of districts. So our thoughts and prayers definitely with the Ballard family. An amazing family. The state legislature recognized him a couple of months ago, and standing ovation for him. And so, Oklahoma education lost a great mentor in him, but our thoughts and prayers with the family.
All right. We will talk to you next week, and between now and then, I will be watching you from Bedside Baptist over here on the Hillspring Church live stream on Sunday. So
I think I'm a better preacher than I am a play-by-play guy. I'm just going to stick with my day job.
Hey, I was going to tell you, I'm going to watch church from the same place I'm doing the show tonight, so I won't even have to move.
You guys have a great night.
All right. Brent Kellogg, voice of the Oologah Mustangs, also the pastor of Hillspring Church over in Sand Springs.
Grant, I got to ask you this.
Yes.
It's not a negative thing, but since doing this show with you and you get all these radio guys on, it's amazing how many of the pastors around Oklahoma are also involved in high school football on Friday night.
Oh, yeah. Well, so many of them want to be involved in their communities, and they just, we've got a bunch of great pastors who do great work. I know, Kelly Ward, who was over at Owasso First Assembly as a staff pastor, was my sideline guy in Owasso. Chris Ruwalt up in Alva calls in. I mean, we got a ton of other ones, and Brent's just one of the many, and I really appreciate each and every one of them that are willing to call in. The next man in our lineup is, this is his first time calling in, and we may have him hold through the break and talk to him for just a minute, but up until today, Buck Ringgold was the legendary sports writer for the Southwest Times Record newspaper in Fort Smith. Today was his last day, and he joins a new online publication called Sports Book Live, and it is Scorebook Live, not Sportsbook. That'd be betting. I was about to say, I'm sorry. I'm a little under the weather tonight, Buck. Let's go with Scorebook Live, not Sportsbook Live. Scorebook Live, which is covering high school sports in Oklahoma. And Buck, welcome to the Oklahoma sports scene. Appreciate you being with us.
It's definitely a pleasure, Grant. And as you probably know, I'm very familiar with Oklahoma preps, since Fort Smith is right on the Oklahoma border. So I got to see a lot of Oklahoma high school preps in my 20-plus years with the Times Record.
All right, we've got about 35 seconds before we've got to go to a hard break. But before we, and we'll have you hold through the break, but tell us what Scorebook Live is, what we're going to see out of you here in the next few weeks.
All right, well, it's a website that's devoted to Oklahoma high school athletics, and I'll be producing game stories as well as columns and features each week.
All right, perfect. Well, we're going to find out about more about Broken Arrow and Jinx with Buck Ringgold when we come back. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Scortle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Scortle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Scortle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Scortle.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition. Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Welcome home to Cross Timbers Apartments in South Oklahoma City. With an on-site dog park, business center, and on-site gym, you'll be glad you're living at Cross Timbers Apartments. Located in the heart of South OKC on South May Avenue next to Pub W and a short walk from Early Wine Park. With quick access to I-240 and I-44, you can be at Dell or downtown in just minutes. Visit Cross Timbers today for a limited time special on our 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments. Cross Timbers Apartments, a Case and Associates property.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the Ford F-Series for everyone. America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Because the trucks of the future are built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales. Visit your Oklahoma Ford dealer to take advantage of great offers available now on Ford F-150, Ranger, and Super Duty. Choose from low financing and big cash rebates. See your best in Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
This is Ice-T, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Matty Ice.
This is a cold call.
I convinced NFL teams to turn to cold water washing with Tide.
The NFL, your uniforms get dirty.
Tide can handle it, even in cold. Plus, if fans join in, they can save up to $150 on their energy bill.
Looks like you just made the team, rookie. Turn to cold with Tide. And that's the bottom line.
It's got to be Tide. Energy savings based on average when switching from hot to cold and non-HE machines. Looking forward to OU, Texas? Dreading the I-35 traffic jam between here and the Cotton Bowl? Don't sit in gridlock. Let Amtrak get you there without the headache. Sit back, relax, and get the party started early with the Heartland Flyer Big Game Train to Dallas. Arrive in Dallas Friday, October 8th, and return Sunday, October 10th. It's like 2 extra days of tailgating. Visit Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer Big Game to save 15%. That's Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer Big Game.
Final segment, hour number 1 of the Prep Sports Post Game here on the GameDayOklahoma.com network. Grant Merrill in Tulsa, Randy Heights in Oklahoma City, Eric King punching all the buttons. Earlier in the show, in the last segment, I inadvertently accused Buck Ringgold of running a gambling operation, but he actually runs for Oklahoma it's Scorebook Live, not Sportsbook Live.
It's close, right? Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. I've had too much cough medicine this week, Buck, but we definitely want to get people on the right page or they're going to end up losing all their money on OU and Kansas State tomorrow. So, Buck, thank you for, again, being with us. You covered Broken Arrow and Jeeks tonight, kind of your first big 6A game for Scorebook Live, and that was a big one this evening.
Yes, indeed, and certainly a game that I've been looking forward to for days, especially since, I knew I was going to be coming on board with Scorebook Live, and it's kind of an interesting game in the first quarter. There were 5 total touchdowns in the first quarter, but after that, there was just only 1 touchdown the rest of the way as Jenks kind of took over and won 31-14.
Well, I know that we talked to Adam Hildebrand a little earlier, but, big-time 6A football here in the state of Oklahoma, it's different than just about anything. And, you see the kids who are out there and the kids that are getting recruited, and you kind of get to look at that at a different angle than the guys covering the same school every week because you're in the know on who's getting recruited where. And these 2 schools are fertile hotbeds for a lot of coaches.
Absolutely, no doubt, and certainly a lot of good talent, and not just at the D1 level. They got a lot of kids that can, if they don't make it in D1, they can certainly play at the D2 level, and so certainly, like you said, just a hotbed of football, and I was privileged to be part of this new experience here.
Buck, over the last you and I have known each other for 20 years. It's been a long time since we first started doing stuff together, and it's been, I've always admired how you're able to cover so many things, in one night. But your prime territory for a long time was eastern Oklahoma, and we're talking Sallisaw, Muldrow, Podo, all of those border towns, and kind of out of that Sequoia County, LaFleur County corridor for our listeners in the eastern side of the state. Who are some of your surprises this year? Who are some of your up-and-comers, and who do you see the most potential out of?
Well, I'll definitely tell you one of the surprise teams this year has been Moore. I think they won again tonight, so that puts them at 5-0. They swept their 2 city rivals for the first time in school history, and they've really put together a very impressive season so far.
I know that a couple of the other games that happened tonight. Muldrow ended up beating Sallisaw 27-6 over in Leflore County. Fort Gibson still rolling over everybody. They beat Stillwell 28-8. Roland ended up. I'm not sure how Roland did. I'm going to have
Ryan beat Roland. Ryan beat Roland tonight. Yeah.
Okay, well, Kenyatta Wright ought to be happy. I'm sure he's listening. 55-21, the final score in that one. Anything stick out to you on some of those Sequoia and Leflore County scores?
Probably the Muldrow-Sallisaw score. This has kind of been, for the most part, a one-sided rivalry. Sallisaw's kind of dominated Muldrow the last 20 years. Muldrow did beat Sallisaw back in 2015, I think, and that was the only time that they beat Sallisaw in that span until tonight. So really, I was really shocked by the final score. Like I said, 27-6. I didn't expect that kind of a score.
All right. Well, brother, we're appreciative of your call. We're looking forward to your new venture and hope that we can talk from week to week from wherever you are.
Absolutely. And remember, it's Scorebook Live, and on it's scorebooklive.com /Oklahoma, and then on Facebook it'll be SB Live Oklahoma.
Well, hopefully this is the last time I'll confuse you with a mafia boss. So there you go.
Grant.
Sounds good, Grant. Good talking with you again.
All right, brother. That's Buck Ringgold joining us here. Well, I accidentally said Sportsbook Live. I'm sorry, Scorebook Live. Anyway, all right, a couple of different scores that we need to go over before we go to the top of the hour. We've got some Class A football scores as Okima beats Allen tonight, 36-8. We had Morrison beating Chelsea tonight, 48-20. Wawoka falling to Bounds, 51-19. Stroud beats Liberty, 50-28. Porter Consolidated beating Canadian, 41-14. It was Gore beating Sallisaw Central, 61-6. Quapaw beating Ketchum tonight. Final score there, 27-0. Miko beating Cordell, 50-12. Elmore City Purnell beating Stratford, 50-0. Pawhuska beating Fairland, 62-12. Helton falls to Dibble, 3-point game there, 35-32. The final in that one. Oklahoma Union beating Wyandotte tonight. It was 56-8. Boone Apache beating Walters, 28-6. Caney Valley falling to Hominy tonight, 47-14. It was Thomas falling to Fairview, 53-13. Texoma beating Merritt, 7-6. It was Wynnewood falling to Ringling, 48-13. Tonkawa beating Crescent, 25-6. Woodland beating Pawnee, 28-8. Chelsea falling to Morrison, 49-20. Commerce beating Afton, 52-7. Wayne over Rush Springs, 54-14. Hobart beating Carnegie tonight, 21-8. Hooker beating Sayre, 22-7. Burns Flat Deal City falling to Moreland, 40-6. Oklahoma Christian Academy falling to Cashin, 39-28. Colcord falling to Warner, 22-21. Kanawha over Savannah, 18-13. We got a lot to do in the second hour, Mr. Heights, and of course, some of the things that stand out to you tonight. What are they?
I go back to, I looked at Dell City tonight, getting the big victory tonight for them. That is 3 consecutive very good wins for the Eagles of Dell City, how they're rolling. And they're one of those teams that, again, I don't think they're going to win the title or anything like that this year because Bixby's the class of 6A2, but still just what they've been able to do over the last 3 weeks. McGinnis, Carl Albert the couple of weeks before, and now tonight's big victory over Stillwater. Pretty impressive run those Eagles are on right now.
Brett Lang up at Owasso reminding me tonight that Sperry ended up beating Dewey 50-12. He also mentions, and we talked about that Owasso Rams game, they beat Norman North tonight 70-28. Not sure, but that may be one of the first 70-point games that the Rams have scored in their history. So we'll have to check with Steve Mowry, the old historian, on that one. But a big win, especially for a team that was down 14-0 early in the first quarter.
Yeah, very impressive game for them tonight. And you look at that, they're kind of one of those teams you look at and you go, there's a reason they're predicted to be as good as they are.
All right, we are coming up on hour number 2 of the Prep Sports Post Game. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification as we go to the 11 o'clock hour. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the GameDayOklahoma.com network.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup. From GameDayOklahoma.com, this is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
Pike Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products, by the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scortal app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Sports postgame on the GameDayOklahoma.com network. I am Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights. Eric King punching all the buttons, making us sound good. We appreciate you wherever you're listening tonight in the great state of Oklahoma or beyond. And we go back to the Rogers State University in-studio hotline. Tonkawa with a big win over Crescent tonight. The voice of Tonkawa on 104.7 The Bull out of Ponca City is none other than Big Ben Welch. Big Ben, how are you tonight?
Hi, man. We got another win, so I'm in a great mood this evening.
Y'all were, what 4-1 tonight?
Yeah, 4-1. That one loss to Perry, that 1 point loss to Perry's not looking too bad now after they rolled Blackwell tonight.
Yeah, you're calling in tonight with a lot less angst than you had when you were, unfortunately on the receiving end of that Perry score. And so we're happy to hear the happiness in your voice tonight, Big Ben.
Hey, I'm happy to be happy.
Well, give us the highlights. What happened tonight?
All right, so real close. I mean, hard-fought ball game. Score kind of doesn't dictate the game. Crescent's big, and they are physical, and conditioning is the name of the game. Tonkawa, I guarantee you this, you're not going to find a better team that is more conditioned than the Tonkawa Buccaneers. If it's a fourth-quarter game and if it's close, Tonkawa's going to come away with it because they're in great shape. Tailback Roman Chandler, 3 touchdowns tonight. The junior transfer student in from the Wichita area there, so he's a welcome addition to the long history of Buccaneer backs. And, nice physical game and great play by the offensive line as well.
Well, if I lived in Wichita, I'd probably rather live in Crescent, too. But anyway, your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight, who's that?
I'm giving that to junior Roman Chandler, running back, number 4. 3 touchdowns, 1 in the first, 2 in the fourth to ice it, and I would probably say around $150 yards. Not exactly sure. I don't exactly keep stats up there. But he gets my shout-out. And also, shout-out to the Tonkawa coaching staff for having their players in great shape.
All right, next up for Tonkawa, who you guys have next Friday?
We host the Watonga Eagles for a homecoming. And I tell you what, I mean, you couldn't have different offenses contrasting each other. Watonga's going to spread the ball out and try to fling it around, kind of similar to what Cashin does. And tonight, Crescent, I mean, they're just going to run you over. So it's going to be an interesting week of practice, but the Bucs will be ready.
All right, appreciate your call tonight.
Yeah, hey, appreciate the time, fellas.
There he is, Big Ben Welch from 104.7 The Bull, voice of Tonkawa this evening. Next up, voice of the Newcastle Racers, who had a road trip to Cache tonight, Josh Calloway. Josh, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Road trip's not over. I still got about another 30 minutes to go here, but I'm listening to you guys. You guys are helping me get through it, so we're on the back end.
I was about to say, Randy makes a good point. You got to go to the Little Apple tomorrow, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We're hitting the road about 7 a.m. tomorrow, so it figures. I mean, it would have been nice for Newcastle to just be home tonight. I would have been home 30 minutes ago, but, of course, that's not how it goes.
I hope you're getting paid by the mile. Tell us about the game tonight.
Hey, it was a fun one. I mean, for Newcastle, it was a tale of two halves, which is a cliche, but it really was. I mean, the first half was the exact same problems that I've been talking about with you guys the last few weeks. I mean, just penalties, derailing drives, getting into the red zone and not scoring. I mean, they got into the red zone 3 separate times in the first half for a grand total of 0 points. I mean, that's not a recipe for winning. They gave a cash touchdown on a short field after a muffed punt. So it's 7-0 Bulldogs at the half. And we were sitting there, talking about the game at halftime saying, man, the defense is playing well, and the Racers are moving the ball, but they can't finish any drives. This has got to be maddening, for Coach Jeff Rickman. Well, they figured it out. Second half, hit a few big plays. It seemed like the playbook opened up a little bit. They got in the end zone a few times, 3 touchdowns. The defense was fantastic tonight, and a really big win for Newcastle. I mean, they had to have it. You couldn't go to 0-2 in district play. You couldn't lose 4 games in a row. I mean, it was a must-have situation, and so Newcastle should feel really good about that win. And, I mean, with the way 4A1 is looking right now, it's wide open. So Newcastle is in pretty good shape moving forward.
I was going to say, Josh, this win is a big step, and like you thought last week, they had a shot at the playoffs. This is kind of that first win to maybe not secure their spot, but feel a little more comfortable as you move through the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, 4A1 is looking so topsy-turvy. Just getting off the schneid, ending this losing streak, it felt vital. And like I said, going to 0-2 in district play, it's not a death sentence, but, boy, it's not a good place to be in. So, and Cash was in the same boat. They came in losing their district opener to Bethany last week. So this was 2 desperate football teams, and it looked like it. It was a fun game, a lot of emotion, and just a really, really big win for the Racers that they simply put had to have. If they want to make the playoffs, this was a had-to-have situation. So they should feel good about it.
All right, next up for Newcastle, who you got?
Be coming back home a Thursday nighter against Weatherford, which normally you would look at that paper. That's a tough one, but I don't know what to make of the Eagles right now. I mean, they lost to Chickasha and Elgin back-to-back weeks, a couple of head-scratchers. So I don't know. Like I said, 4A1 is upside down right now. So got to feel like Newcastle's in pretty good shape going back home next week against the Eagles. And that's
all right, buddy. Safe travels.
Losses.
Yeah, safe travels to Manhattan tomorrow.
I appreciate it, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right, Josh Calloway, you'll be able to read his work after the OU game. And is it allsooners.com,
yes,
Randy Heights?
Allsooners.com, and it's from the Sooners SI site. But, yeah, allsooners.com.
All right, let's go down south. Bryson Colwell, the voice of the Ardmore Tigers. We had $1 for every point he called tonight. Well, we'd have $61. He had a 61-0 win over Altus of the Bulldogs this evening. Bryson, big game.
Yeah, well, it was a big game, all right, but not for the Altus Bulldogs. Hey, I tell you what, though, not a lot of people probably know it, but the Altus Bulldogs, they went 0-3, went through a coaching change going into bye week, going into district. Then they beat Capitol Hill last week. I came from Altus before I came over here to Ardmore. I was in radio in Altus. I feel like Dusty Davis over there is going to do great things, and they're doing traditional Altus football. They're running that flex bone that you don't see a lot, and it was fun to watch whenever they got it going. I think they only had 3 first downs, and one of those was due to a penalty on the Ardmore defense.
Well, give us kind of your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that going to be tonight?
I'll throw it to Cody.
All righty. So, once again, Martinez Agency player of the game is going to be Cal Swanson, junior quarterback for the Tigers. I had him down for, let's see here, 10 to 15 passes for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 rushes for 65 yards and a touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns for him tonight. And, receivers played great, offensive line played great, but all of them had, goodness gracious, 3 receptions for 80 yards and 3 receptions for 64 and a touchdown. So you got to give it to the guy who's distributing in that situation, and that's him. He's had a phenomenal junior season, and I think it's going to continue to be a whole lot of fun to watch going further into the year.
How was the Rusty Barrel, Cody, since we hadn't talked to you in 2 weeks?
Oh, my gosh, that was the best steak I've had in a long time. I greatly appreciate the recommendation there. Me and my wife had a great time. The salad bar. That's the first time I've been to a place that had a salad bar that wasn't a Pizza Hut in a long time. So.
I appreciate that to-go box you didn't bring me, exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, man,
go ahead, Bryson.
I think he was trying to get back to watching OSU games. So.
He probably was. All right, who do you boys have next week?
We got Duncan. It's homecoming in Ardmore, America.
All right. Nice. Well, we appreciate you checking in with us.
I was going to say, if you have a pulse and like football, you need to be at Ardmore MacArthur. It's going to be one of the best games of the year. It's the last game. It's in, I think, November the 5th or whatever. But those two teams right now are really, really, really hot, and I think it's going to be a fun one on KICM.com.
All right, brother. Appreciate your call tonight. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we are coming up on the end of the first segment of our show tonight. And Randy, of course, we'll go over some Class B scores real quick before we get out of here for the first segment. As earlier tonight, Velma Alma beats Wilson tonight 42-6. Gans getting their first win of the season 30-22 over Porham. DeWar beats Summit Christian 66-47. Tipton ends up beating Hollis tonight 34-18. Ringwood beating Turpin tonight. Final score there 28-26. It was Davenport over Yale this evening 52-6. Garber beating O'Keene tonight 58-34. The game you saw in Squirtle Pay Dirt. Cave Springs beat Porham tonight 30-8. Caddo beats Quinton 42-0. Barnstall over Drumright 62-42. Weber's Falls beats Watts tonight. Final score there 46-0. Reeds at Prep over Wellston 53-8. It was Waletka falling to Arcoma. Mustangs win that one 42-34. Waurika beating Canton tonight 66-48. Sealing beats Snyder 22-0. Strother beats Depew 47-0. And Oaks beats Wilson 56-6. When we come back, more reports from across the state. We'll have Class C scores as well. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the GameDayOklahoma.com network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition. Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silke is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 918-665-5502 today.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find fake playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
What's up, everybody? It's Todd Lisenby from the Franchise Morning Show. This Sooner season is going to be unlike any other. For the first time in history, fans can turn their team spirit into sponsorship dollars. Team Paper allows fans to support their favorite Oklahoma players by purchasing exclusive content for just $5. There's no better way to give back directly to the best college football team in the country. Head to teampaper.com to learn more. Team Paper, power to the players.
Big Boys Guns, Ammo, and Range is Oklahoma's largest family-owned, climate-controlled gun range. Shop our huge selection of new and used firearms and try before you buy with any of our hundreds of rentals on site. Big Boys Guns offers private lessons and classes for all skill levels at our 24-lane gun range with distances up to 25 yards. While you're there, ask about our many services such as appraisals, cleaning, board siding, and more. Just 3 miles west of Will Rogers Airport or at BigBoysGunsandAmmo.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-283-2427. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-283-2427. 800-283-2427. 800-283-2427.
Back here on the Prep Sports Post Game on the GameDayOklahoma.com network. It is all brought to you by Aspen Health and Rehab. If you have a loved one that is looking for a long-term care solution, boy, is Aspen Health and Rehab the choice you need to make. It is one of the nicest nursing home facilities in the state of Oklahoma. Not even really a nursing home. It's more of just a senior living facility that happens to specialize in long-term care. Make an appointment on Monday. Go see our friends at Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow. I'm Grant Merrill. Randy Heights is in Oklahoma City tonight. Eric King punching all the buttons in the studios. And we go back to the Rogers State University in-studio hotline, where I believe the legendary Lugnut, Tony Wilson, joining us. Chandler had Jones tonight, Lugnut.
Hey, Grant, let me just tell you before we get into this, that Aspen facility is phenomenal. I had this Contino over there this past year, and I was simply blown away at how nice that place was. So that commercial's spot on.
It is absolutely wonderful, and we do appreciate you saying that. We'll pass that along to the owner, Michael Borton, and some of his crew. We just and we appreciate them being our title sponsor this year more than anything.
We all need a title sponsor for sure.
We do.
Guys, let me just tell you.
I need about 4 of them, but go ahead.
The game tonight, Tony.
Man, Randy, we did 29-26. Lions, my beloved Lions, come up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, but guys, you know, these moral victories that you could come away with, the people talk about them that aren't worth a crap, you know, when you get the L in the L column. But our kids were down 21-0, guys, at Jones with arguably one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country, going to Iowa. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows they're high-powered, high-flying. And we scored before half and make it 21-6, respectable going into halftime. We come out fourth quarter, stop them, get the football, and we go score. And now it's 21-12. We can't kick an extra point. We didn't make two-point conversions. And, you know, having Casman Hill back this week, guys, from being out the past 2 weeks, where we go 1-1 with Casman. Probably could have played last week, but one of those deals that, you know, give him another week. We eked out that 18-16 win for Crossings in the first district game, but our kids just fought, man. They fought tooth and nail. They were just, you could tell that they were tired, but every time that ball snapped, they found some way to muster the energy. They score again and make it 21-20. And we get the 2-point conversion finally, and everybody's like, oh, boy, we got a game. But in true Jones fashion, number 4 in the state in 2A, they march down the field, and May finds the open receiver and makes a phenomenal catch in just blanketed coverage. And they go for 2 and make it 29-20. So now we got to have 2 scores again. Well, we trip on the opening kick, or the kickoff back from Drake Rodriguez, slips and falls on the turf. In the first play of scrimmage, a handoff to Casman right up the middle for 67 down to the 18, where he goes down with 2 cramps. I mean, it was a heavyweight fight tonight, guys. It was a 12-rounder. You paid $65 on pay-per-view. It was great because for I don't know what kind of reasons, but Jones didn't stream it. So I was Facebook Live tonight from the bleachers trying to provide fans that didn't make it an opportunity to see what is a great game. So we make it 29-26, and Caden Jones scored on a 50-yard run to get it to 21-20 on 4th and 2, and he, you know, he's the name we mention every week, guys. You've heard it now for 5 weeks that he's the playmaker for the Lions, and now that you got Casman back, but our kids showed resiliency, and I know it's a cliche, and as a broadcaster, it's hard to find the right descriptive words to say, but I'm just flat out proud of our kids tonight. They battled hard, and it was a hard-fought game.
I'm proud of you for being a vigilante sportscaster, going Facebook Live from the stands, man.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about going the extra mile to bring it to the fans at home. That's awesome.
I had 37 viewers. Come on, man.
Nice.
Hey, there you go. Who was your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
Well, I just have to split it between Casman and Caden. I mean, those two are just, Caden's the senior quarterback leader, and he knows when he hands it to number 10 that something special is going to happen. And guys, Randy knows, and you're learning, Grant, that, I've been around this game for a long, long time, and I've seen some great football. I've used to do Shawnee games and for Shawnee CTV, and we had the 7 Sports broadcast there in Tulsa for a while, for a couple of years that we were doing Tulsa high school games, and it's just amazing to see the ability that Casman has. And by the way, I just got a text message from one of our assistants. Casman had 222 tonight, guys. And that's with a 49. And hey, listen, that's with a 49-yarder called back in the second series.
Oh, wow.
On holding. Yeah.
All right.
270. But anyway.
Next up for you guys, who you got?
We'll be home with Star. Hopefully we can get back on the winning side of the, it's not going to be easy. Star Spencer comes to town, and after that we get a Thursday night game at home with Millwood. So a lot of fun for the Lions, and arguably one of the toughest districts in 2A. But so we'll go fight, and we'll, like I said, I'm proud of our kids, guys, and thank you guys for doing for what you do. And Randy, you ready for that pizza? I sent him a picture tonight, Grant. He's glad to send it to him.
Yeah, they look pretty good, Grant.
Well, I wasn't there to look at them this evening, but you're about, being there in Chandler, you're just as close to Tulsa. You can send that.
Hey, I'm ready.
The other way too.
Hey, what I need to do is get up there to Aspen and have them have those guys up there. Pay for me to come up there, and I'll bring the canteen, and they just say, "Come on, Grant, come on, just come on and get you get in line, and we'll get you fed."
I will see what I can do to make that happen for you.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Have a good night. See you.
All right, it is 11:22 on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. When you listen to our intro, the great Jim Cutler, who's the voice of everything in sports in America, you hear him say, "From Boise City to Broken Bow." Well, tonight we make that true because we bring you the first report from Boise City in the history of this incarnation of the Prep Sports Post game. Ben Buckland is somewhere in the Panhandle tonight, where Winoka's Railroaders beat Boise City 36-20.
And I got to ask, Ben, is Boise City that's the last high school in Oklahoma, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think Felton maybe right on the edge there might be before you just tip over into the other state. I do know that a lot of people at the game were bragging that they didn't have to drive near as far as me because they were only going to Albuquerque.
Oh my God!
Wow.
That's about right.
Well, tell us about those Railroaders tonight.
I will, and first we got to talk weather. You know what I mean? It's the weather. 52 degrees. It rained this afternoon, a nice rain. 52 degrees, no wind. I mean, absolutely ideal for the ball players. Now, I have enough voice to go about another 35 seconds, so we'll hurry up. So, I mean, some of us just kind of stood in the rain and thought, I kind of wish I'd have brought that jacket, but it was 103 a week ago. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good ball game. It really was. I'll tell you, Boise City, I mean, you feel for them. They haven't won a game yet this year. So 0-4, but they've played some good teams, and there's no quit in them. I mean, they were trying to score still at the end of the game and did. And came back and were driving again. And Tegan Allison, who's going to be my player of the game tonight, Tegan Allison intercepted the ball and turned the thing around in the late minutes going the other direction, and the Railroaders were able to put one more on and kind of make it decisive. But it was a lot tougher. One of those cliches, it was a lot tougher game than the score indicates. Tegan Allison is the quarterback, the junior quarterback for the Railroaders, and in 8-man ball, you play both ways. And he did not have a tremendous night as far as scoring the football, but he was there every time they needed him to be there. For instance, on the last drive, when Boise City was really close to scoring, it was Tegan Allison on defense that intercepted the ball that turned the thing around, and the momentum headed it the other direction. So I don't know how he'll look on the stat sheet for sure, but he's my fighting railroader tonight, and he's my player of the game. He was really, really timely on both sides of the football, guys. So the Rails win one.
All right, I'm looking here. I'm going to go Gary England on you for a minute. Outside Merrill Manor in luxurious South Tulsa, it is 74 degrees, and in Boise City right now it is 45.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
So roll down the windows and enjoy that weather while you've got it, Ben.
I promise. I may not call you for a couple of days. I don't think there'll be any voice there, buddy. But enjoy the rest of the night.
All right. Appreciate you, Ben Buckland, voice of the Winoka Railroaders on KALV tonight. All right. Next up, let's go to, I believe we've got Chris Foshee, Westmore and Edmond Santa Fe this evening. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Doing well. Tell us about your matchup tonight.
Rough one, Chris.
Well, they they shut down Talon Chetron. We'll just say that. But at what cost is the thing is they spent so much time trying to make sure he didn't catch a ball, which he didn't all night, that they allowed the other skill guys for the Edmond Santa Fe to go crazy on the Westmore Jaguars, unfortunately. And by the way, a name to know for the future Edmond Santa Fe, I'm sure y'all talked about him, is Demarius Robinson, the freshman tailback for Edmond Santa Fe, carried close to 200 yards and 5 touchdowns tonight for the Edmond Santa Fe Wolves. But Westmore's still trying to find who's going to be their quarterback. They finally found the 1-2 punch at tailback that they needed. They've been riding Brandon Arnold all season as they've kind of lost all their backup tailbacks, kind of like what the same problem OU's having. Well, they got a guy back from injury last week versus Broken Arrow, and it seems like he is now going to take over as the main ball carrier for the Westmore Jaguars. Andre Williams carried close to 80 yards tonight. He's kind of finding a groove. He's never played tailback. He's a wide receiver that they just moved over there, and looks like he's going to be the guy moving forward. But they've just got to find an identity at quarterback. They've got the skill positions. They just can't seem to find a way to get him the ball. We threw 3 picks tonight, the Jaguars did, and had another fumble turnover later. And so the wheels fell off quickly. I actually texted Randy. I go, hey, we might house this team. It looked, we were causing 3 and out. Chetron was, shut down. I was like, all right, here we go. And we were about to go punch it in to make the score 17-6 over Edmond Santa Fe. And then about that time, the wheels fall off. So,
well,
they scored 2 touchdowns in a matter of 45 seconds to make it a 17-point game at half over the Jags. And I think that Westmore only got 3 first downs total in the second half.
Chris, is this a young team?
Quarterback is, but everybody else is pretty old. The wide receivers are almost all seniors. Like I said, the entire wide receiving core almost comes back from last year, except for one player.
Right.
So they just lost a quarterback, and Westmore's been very spoiled at quarterback with Dayton Wolf the last 3 years, and you had Braxton Borfin the previous 3 years. So the last 6 years they've had steady quarterback, and I think this is kind of shocking just that they're still struggling to find a quarterback identity.
All right, Chris, your Martinez Agency player of the game. Who is it tonight?
Well, for Westmore, Andre Williams, that's the new tailback, carrying close to 80 yards, but that's pretty much all I can say. But Demarius Robinson for Edmond Santa Fe, worth the price of admission. A lot of people go out there to see the Chetron twins. Go check that kid out. He's unreal.
All right, next up for Westmore.
Next week, Thursday night game, thank goodness for OU Texas, is homecoming Enid for the Westmore Jaguars.
All right, brother. Appreciate you being with us tonight.
All right, have a good evening, y'all
See you,
too.
Chris. Don't forget that equipment next Friday.
Will not. I will not.
There he is, Chris Fossey, voice of Westmore on the Franchise 2, 1560 and 103.3. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some cash and Wildcat football, and Cameron Jordan from the Oklahoma joins us later in the hour. It's the Prep Sports Postgame from GameDayOklahoma.com.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed. And if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athletes. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is time to share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com and find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
Jeff Marr, 4301 Southwest 3rd Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention homeowners with State Farm earthquake insurance from 2011 to present. Was your home damaged in an Oklahoma earthquake? Did you submit an insurance claim to State Farm? Did State Farm deny or lowball your claim? If so, it is not too late to recover the compensation you deserve. Between 2011 and 2017, Oklahoma experienced a dramatic increase in the rate and magnitude of earthquakes. These quakes caused significant damage to homes in Oklahoma. Insurance companies often deny claims for earthquake damage in Oklahoma, leaving you with an unsafe home and expensive repairs. If your claim was denied or underpaid because of so-called pre-existing damage, unrelated earth settlement, or for any other reason, you may be entitled to significant cash recovery from State Farm. The Marr Law Firm has experience fighting for homeowners like you. Call now for a free evaluation of your claim.
Please call 800-390-5892. That is 800-390-5892.
Lock Supply in Oklahoma City is the Southwest premier provider of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC supplies. Since 1955, Lock Supply has grown from a small store in Bartlesville to over 180 branches in 7 states, employing over 1,300 employee owners. Are you ready to consider a career where hard work and loyalty matter? Work for a company that is driven to make sure that the team members have the ability to retire comfortably. Thought what it would be like to work at a 100% employee-owned company. Lock Supply has many incredible full-time opportunities at local branches or in their warehouse. With medical benefits, a 401k program, and an employee stock ownership plan. Lock Supply is not just a great place to work, it's a great place to have a career. For more information, visit locksupply.com and follow the link under career, or just email your resume to careers@locksupply.com. Again, that's careers@LOCKEsupply.com.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
My Lord, is this Ghetto Superstar from back in the day, Randy? From
I don't know. Josh, who's going to be producing next week, Josh Connett, is in here training, and he played that one. Josh, was that Ghetto Superstar?
To be honest, I don't know what that was. It's before my time.
Well, here's the deal. It was that one that they remade, and it was like a rap version that had the same tune as Islands in the Stream.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
But it was just kind of this weird rap that Kenny and Dolly probably would have been ashamed of. So honestly,
they were ashamed of.
Okay, well, let's get back to the phone lines before we go into obscure remakes of 70s country songs. Hey, I could do that all night.
Exactly.
There you go. We'll just dedicate a whole show to that sometime.
That's what everyone tunes in for.
Exactly. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Cashion Wildcat football tonight. Nima and Navalny, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. And Grant, I think that was Ghetto Superstar, and I would say name that tune. That was fantastic. You could probably have a show with the Diesel Horse family and run through hits just like that. But no, I was pretty impressive.
Well, let me tell you, if Adam and Jacob and the Matt Diesel Horse, if they all want to load up and go to L.A. and be on that Name That Tune show or whatever that was called, I'm ready. We can go win some money.
I think that could happen. You can include Josh, too, as a coach. I think you guys could do well. But probably not as nice as maybe your Name That Tune game was the game tonight for the Cashion Wildcats. It wasn't pretty, but it was enough for them to win 39-28 over OCA and Edmond, and they moved to 5-1 overall, 2-0 in district. And Coach Shackelford will probably kind of throw that film away and get ready for Hinton next week.
Well, who was your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
Well, hey, listen, before we get there, I do want to give Coach Gray Powell and the OCA staff a lot of credit. This was really a resurgent team. They've gotten some new coaches and some new players, and just a big shout-out for the Prince brothers at running back. They were extremely slippery today, as well as wide receiver Price Stubblefield. And on the Cashion side, you guys, it could be a broken record between Ben Harmon and Landon Lagasse every single Friday. Harmon was 19 for 26 for 304. Lagasse had another 188 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I'm going to go with the guy that has a room above me that keeps his alarm clock going on all morning, and that's my kid, Nick Nababi, the senior, number 4. He had 26 carries for 223 yards, 2 TDs. I think if I didn't name him the player of the game, my wife would probably kick me out. But he had a fantastic night, and it was the second half with Nick playing linebacker as well as toting the rock. Really, that kind of sealed the deal and took control of the game for the Cashion Wildcats.
Hey, Nima, that's a good day for your son there. I got to admit, some pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah, he came off of 132 last week against Watonga for 223 tonight. It was good. And I'm going to get kicked out of the booth next week. We had 6,000 views tonight on Cashion Wildcats TV, but I got to give a shout-out to Chris Gibson, the best color guy in the state, in my opinion, and our new addition, Drew Baker. Drew's fantastic. He's a student at OSU coming in, a former Cashion alum, and got to give some love to the guys who do a fantastic job producing and putting together not only an awesome pregame, but again, it's just a total broadcast for us at Cashion Wildcats TV. It's been fun working with those two guys.
Well, we've enjoyed watching you on Squirtle. I sometimes now I don't watch the video while I'm driving down the turnpike because that would just not be responsible. But I will try to listen into you, like Bluetooth it to my speakers while I'm on the way into Oklahoma City. And we've loved listening to you and watching you this season. You guys do a great job on Cashion Wildcats TV.
Well, we appreciate it. We call ourselves Homer TV, which is okay. So as long as you know what you've tuned into, but. We put a lot of pride into it, just like our coaches and players and teachers do. And we've got a great student staff, and our multimedia program is just absolutely growing. It's been fun for us, for Chris, Drew, and I, but just seeing the growth of the students that are working and producing, putting on their own shows, it's been a lot of fun. And again, just props to you guys, as always, Grant and Randy. You guys do a fantastic job, showcasing OK Preps. And even though it's 11:40 at night, I know we've got the superstar Cam Jordan coming up. This is always a great day when we can talk, Oklahoma high school football. So thank you, guys.
No doubt.
Well,
no
if
doubt.
Cam doesn't, no, that's okay. We're not in the same place, so we can't see each other tonight. It's kind of, if Cam doesn't answer his phone here in a little bit, we'll call you back and play Name That Tune for the rest of the hour.
We'll do it. I'll have to have a phone-in request to the Diesel Horse family, but yeah, I'm in for sure.
Hey, Nima, you need anything with that program, you let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
Yeah, we would love it. You got again. I said you have an open invite anytime you want. Come on out. We'll take care of you, Randy. I know we could talk OU baseball for sure for a while.
I could do that. Yeah.
We'd love to have you come out. Teresa Carnes and Coach Hardaway do a fantastic job. We've got great administration, and again, we had over 200,000 views last year, and that doesn't happen by accident. That's again great teamwork and just a great administration to help support what we're doing in Tiny Cash in Oklahoma.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
See you, Neiman.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Neiman Devaldi, he's, of course, the voice of the Cashin Wildcats. And, wow, that's a lot of views for a school the size of Cashin.
I was going to say that. I mean, you think about the size of Cashin, 200,000 views. I don't care if it is through an entire year or season. That's Grant.
Yeah.
That's like what the last, and I'm not being mean here, so don't take it this way. That's what, maybe the last 30-year alumni base?
Yeah,
if not
absolutely.
more.
Well, that outranks the 4 listeners I hear we have. So.
Exactly. See, so I mean, come on.
Whatever. All right, let's go back up north to KLOR 99.3, where Levi Peckinpah is on the line. He had Newkirk and Hennessy tonight, and Levi, I'm so sorry. Somehow I deleted your number off of my little log last week, and I did not call you back. So I appreciate you waiting a week to be on with us.
Hey, no problem at all. I'm happy to be on with y'all in probably what is Newkirk's. It's definitely their best game of the season. It's still, unfortunately, coming to a loss to the Hennessy Eagles. It is in a 36-28 battle. I mean, to even start it off at halftime, Newkirk was down, I believe it was 29-6, and then Newkirk in the third and fourth quarter tried to answer it with 22 unanswered points, started off by a punt block by one running back by the name of Clayton Sargent, and it just kind of spiraled from then on out. But by the time the game was ending in the fourth quarter, things were getting chippy, having a couple fights. Everybody was getting into it. It was that prime Friday night football feel. But one fight ended up where a player for the Hennessy Eagles actually got ejected because in the fight, threw a punch and a little bit of it hit a referee. But in that process, you had a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct calls thrown towards Newkirk, which derailed their drive and allowed Hennessy to edge and get the victory and be able to escape out of a tough battle.
I was about to say, you hit a referee, you're probably not going to be able to avoid a flag or an ejection on that one. So
that's not good.
Yeah, it was for a little bit. It was pretty brutal because there was some fighting going on. Some of it was just little hand play that was pretty light, but added to a point the refs had to make sure to step in and just be like, okay, we need to get all this under control. And by the time all that happened, everybody was just ready for the climax of the game to happen, and it was an incredible night of football.
Who is your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
My player of the game, I've got to go with Sebastian Gonzalez for the Hennessy Eagles. 10 of 18 passing-wise, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was just able to put it in every single pocket that Hennessy was needing him to put it into, whether it was going to some of his various wide receivers. I mean, like Seth Simonek, he was able to connect with him all night long. But anything you needed from Sebastian Gonzalez, he was able to connect with it and then some. So he is my player of the night.
All right, next up for Newkirk, who you got?
Next up, we will be taking on Oklahoma Christian next week at home, so it'll be a fun one. I believe Oklahoma Christian's still undefeated. I haven't checked in on what their game has been on the night. I know before we started.
They beat Alva today, 53-19 was the final score on that one, and it was a game that was moved up to 1:30 in the afternoon because they had a problem finding referees. Something happened with their officiating crew for tonight, so they moved it to the middle of the day.
Oh, okay. OCS is definitely going to be a tough matchup for Newkirk, but this was the best Newkirk team that I've seen all season long. So as long as they can go out there and give a good fight against OCS, I think it's going to be a very good game for the Tigers.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
Hey, thank y'all for having me. Y'all have a great night.
Levi Peckinpah from KLOR in Ponca City, voice of Newkirk. All right, let's go to the main scribe of Oklahoma high school sports in the Daily Oklahoman, and that's the one and only Cameron Jordan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys tonight?
Good, man.
Well, we're good. We're good. Who did you have the pleasure of watching this evening?
I was actually up in Guthrie at Gelsma Stadium for a big rivalry game between Carl Albert and Guthrie that actually came down to the wire. Carl Albert ended up winning 22-19. I'm not sure if you guys had Braden on earlier. I left the stadium a little later than normal tonight because of an extended halftime when the lights went out.
We usually relegate Braden to the 11 o'clock hour, but he sent me a message and said that he needed to go to bed, and so I needed to move him up. So we got him on about 10:30 or so.
Yeah, the lights actually went out about 2 minutes into halftime, and it took them pretty much the entire 20 minutes to turn back on, and then they added an extra 12 minutes to the clock to let the band perform and let the cheerleaders perform and everything. So it was about a 35-40 minute halftime that extended the game a little bit, but that was such a fun game tonight. One of the better high school games that I've ever been at, just with the amount of back and forth there was in the fourth quarter.
I hate to even admit this, but I haven't been to a game at the Rock yet, and that is one of those bucket place lists I want to go, or bucket list places that I would like to go and see a game at. I hear it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd been to a game there back when I was in middle school. I actually grew up, I had plenty of time growing up in the Guthrie area, but that was my first game tonight to actually to cover a game there, and what a way to kind of just introduce yourself to that place and the storied history that's all there. It was definitely, like I said, a really, really fun game to be a part of.
Hey, Cameron, you've had some time to look back at some of the games. What's, kind of surprised you tonight? I know I brought up the 4A game, Bristow getting a big victory tonight, and Dell City, what they've been able to do over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, 4A across the board. One of the things I do when I get home from my games on Friday night is I have a spreadsheet that has every single team's record on it, and I go through and update their records after Friday's games. And going through and looking at some of these scores in 4A, was just a crazy night. A bunch of upsets. Like you said, Bristow beating Wagner 3-0. I mean, I would have never guessed that game would have come down to that. I know both teams have excellent defenses. And then, like you said, Dell City. I think I'm gonna kick myself for this one. I actually was joking with Midwest City Mid-Dell Athletic Director Andy Collier earlier. He was at the game in Guthrie tonight. I told him, I said, I picked Stillwater, and I'll eat crow for picking Stillwater to win that game. But I know I should have picked Dell City. They've been, especially on the ball, they've won, like you said, they've won those 3 straight games against really tough opponents. Or 3 of their last 4 have been against McGinnis, Carl Albert, and now Stillwater. And they've just been dominating running the ball. Virgil Yates, their quarterback, Ethan Lawrence, their running back, Jason Smith, who's kind of their running back number 2, but he's more of like a tight end who they give the ball to sometimes, but so dominant on the ground. And Dell City is really making a case to win that district. I think that 6A2, especially on the east side this year, is really loaded. Obviously, Bixby and Choctaw, big matchup coming next week. Sand Springs is 5-0. Booker T is 4-1. All those teams are really good, but Dell City is really making its case as the best West Side team in 6A2, and has a really big matchup coming against Midwest City next week, a big rivalry game.
Hey, Cameron, we're going to put you on hold. We'll talk to you in the last segment of the show. We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap this thing up for the 5th week of the high school football season. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Skortle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Skortle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live on the new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Skortle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Skortle.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at PikePass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Case and Associates is hiring. If you like to be outdoors with great benefits, Case and Associates is accepting applications right now. Positions needed are groundskeepers, painters, and maintenance assistants. Part-time and full-time positions are available with flexible schedules and competitive wages. Receive benefits like 401k, paid time off, health, vision, and dental. What are you waiting for? Visit Mission Point Apartments in Moore or Stonehorse Crossing Apartments on North Main, north of Memorial.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the freshest lineup of SUVs in America for everyone. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs, drive one today. Based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10/5/20. Visit your Oklahoma Ford dealer to take advantage of great offers available now on Ford Escape, Edge, Explorer, and Expedition. Choose from low financing and big cash rebates. See your best in Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Have you tried learning a new language but it never seems to stick? That's because there's more to language than learning vocab words. Babbel is different. Babbel's multiple ways to learn helps you explore every aspect of a new language, anytime, right from your phone or computer. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help from an instructor in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people. We keep them small so everyone can get the help and practice they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning motivation, Babbel gives you the tools you'll need to explore your new language. And Babbel is built around real life. Everything from the interactive lessons and live online classes to the podcasts and games will teach you things you'll actually use. So you're ready for real-life conversations. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. More ways to explore. More ways to learn. Start learning today at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Final segment of the Prep Sports post game as man, Randy, I won't get to see you 2 weeks in a row. I'm here at Tulsa tonight, and you're going to be partying at OU Texas next week.
That's right.
So.
I'll be down at the Renaissance in Addison, Texas, as it's a big day for us down here in the city. We'll have 3 or 4 guys down there covering that game, and I get to be lucky one of those, and I'm going. After missing last year due to COVID, I'll renew my 25-year streak of making it to Dallas.
Cameron, I think that Randy should probably do the show in the lobby or something so people can come ask for his autograph while he's on the air. I mean, don't you think people need to meet Randy Heights?
That sounds like an excellent idea. Maybe even make him a little sign or something that says autographs over here, pictures. I mean, he's a celebrity. You gotta play it up a little bit.
I would actually do that, but the OU Club of Dallas, who we do the hotel with, they have a big party that night, and it's very loud. And usually about the time we're going on, no exaggeration here, the Pride of Oklahoma will be marching through playing. And so probably not the best for on-air time. And I'll be on 6 to 7 from the hotel there next week. So we can do it that
I'll text Switzer and see if he could just join us for the show.
There you go.
He could come back down and do the show with you, and Cameron and I could be on the air up here. It worked perfect. All right. Well, so I guess I will see you week after next, but enjoy OU Texas this week. Cameron, any surprises out of this week in high school football?
It's like I said, I kind of looking through scores and looking through some of what's just kind of what's happened this week and what's been shaping up. I think the big story too is Moore being 5-0. Hasn't gotten quite to the beef of their schedule yet. Really big game next week against Norman North, which that was a crazy game that happened up in Owasso tonight. But
Norman North was out 14-0 at the first, and my wife even looked at me and she said, "Man, Owasso's getting beaten. What's going on there?" And then, in true Bill Blankenship fashion, when the Rams had their backs against the wall, they come back and win. What was it? I think final score there was like 70-28.
Yeah, it was 70-28, and that was just like you said, a crazy game there. But looking down at even the game that I was at, I think Carl Albert took a really big step. This is a completely different team than when I saw them 3 weeks ago, and it kind of is a big reminder to even me and I think others too that they're still the 5-time defending champs until somebody beats them. And they've a completely different team right now than they looked 3 weeks ago. Really big game against McGinnis next week. Obviously, a rematch of the past couple of Class 5A championships. So that'll be a really big one. In Class 4A, I mean, just kind of going down the list here. In Class 4A, I think Tuttle continues to show that they're probably the team to beat. I know Potos look really good. Tuttle obviously beat Cushing last week in a big matchup. Clinton's still there, coming off the title game appearance last year. But that'll be interesting as well. The big thing that I have circled, kind of looking at next week though, is Bixby Choctaw. Both those games last year were excellent. Choctaw was really the only team that seemingly pushed Bixby at all last year. That game is going to be down here in Oklahoma City. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people there, and that's the thing. Bixby has won 41 straight games. They'll be able to set the state record if they win out the rest of the season and win the title. But Choctaw has revenge on its mind. This is a game that's been circled on their calendar the entire year. And I think that it has the potential to be another really good matchup between those two schools.
Who has the state record so far? Because I know it was like last year, before Owasso got beat by Jinx, they were in the hunt, and then Shattuck was in the hunt, and then Bixby was in the hunt. Who has the state record so far?
So there's the two different records. For 11-man, Wagner has the 11-man record. It's 48 games. And then I cannot remember the exact total off the top of my head, but Shattuck has the 8-man record, and it's in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like 94 or 5, I think, isn't it?
It's in the 90s. I cannot remember the exact number, but I do know that Shattuck has the overall and 8-man record, which is in the 90s. But the 11-man is 48, which Wagner set back 5 or 6 years ago, back when old Malcolm Rodriguez was their star player.
Wow. All right. So I assume we'll probably find you at Choctaw Bixby next week.
I actually don't know yet. That's definitely one of them too. But again, I mean, here in the city we have Del City, Midwest City, which is going to be a really big matchup. Carl Albert, McGinnis. I mean, there's a bunch of really big time matchups next week, and I'm probably missing a couple off the top of my head. But Choctaw Bixby is definitely one. I mean, anytime you can get a rematch of a state championship game, that's obviously going to be a really big game. And we have 2 next week here in the city. So. Really good schedule shaping up, and I'm, like I said, really looking forward to kind of delving down tomorrow and getting into what's all coming up here for the second half of the season.
Here's a score for you, Cameron, out of Class C. Medford 94, Copan 48. That's a wild score for football.
I am thankful I was not the scorekeeper at that one tonight.
Yeah, wow.
Guys. You got to love 8, man. Hey, Cameron, thanks for your time. We look forward to talking to you next week as well.
Yep, thank you guys as well. Appreciate it as always.
Hey, Grant, it's crazy to think that score. 8-man football, it's funny you gave that score. I always love going through some as you move throughout the year and seeing some of those scores, but people don't realize how high scoring those games can be. It's just like, and I'm not being negative towards it, but it's like 7-on-7. There's so much open space, even with the shrunken field.
Well, here's the Class C football scores, because those are the only ones we didn't go through tonight. We heard from Ben Buckman earlier. Winoka beating Boise City 36-20. Buffalo beats Geary 22-6. Wesleyan Christian beats Deer Creek Lamont 55-0. Mountain View Godebo beats Ryan 56-0. Timberlake beats Welch 59-14. Saskwa beats Graham Dustin 58-8. Beaver beating Corn Bible 46-6. Blue Jacket over South Coffeyville. By the way, one of Oklahoma's biggest speed traps, but I digress.
You're as bad as me. You know where all those are at, Grant.
I know where. They all show up on my driving record. I could just read them off to you. 60-14, the final score in that one. Maud beats Midway tonight 42-36. Granfield falls to Maysville 52-20. Tyrone over Sharon Mutual 36-8. Timberlake over Welch 59-14. Oaks over Wilson 56-6. And Coyle over Bowlegs 60-14. And with that, Mr. Heights, we have gone over every score in the great state of Oklahoma tonight.
That's pretty good tonight. And you know what's great? We did that with like 30 seconds to spare. Plus, I think we finally hit every corner of the state with reporters.
We even got we got a report from Boise City. When has that happened?
No doubt. And you know what? That'll probably be the last one.
Yeah, it may be.
See anyone else? I mean,
you
I don't
behave
negative on Boise City. Just saying.
You behave yourself at OU Texas next week. We will see you via remote. I'll see you in person in 2 weeks.
Sounds good, Grant.
That's the Prep Sports Postgame. Thanks for listening. Good night, everybody.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. We now return to Sports Map Radio, already in progress. 107.7 The Franchise and the Franchise mobile app.
Financial constraints can often keep that from happening. Third, don't scrimp on the food. Make sure it's good. If you want to scrimp anywhere, scrimp on the flowers.
The All-Nighter, Saturdays from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network. Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault.
I don't know if you guys like watching line movements, but I eat this stuff up. I love watching numbers get set. I love watching how the books react to the public, and I love how the professionals go after the bookmakers for lines that they think are a little bit off. So this is going to be just the biggest handle of the weekend by far, maybe the biggest handle of the entire season, Bucks at Patriots. So the number opened up at 5.5. I bet the Bucks minus 6.5. Now, before you say that, wow, Matt, that's really public. 93% of the money, all on Tampa. Everyone's on Tampa. This number is going to climb and close somewhere around 8. I'm going to try to straddle this, and I'm going to try to middle this game. I got 6.5. I'm going to try to get 8.5. Maybe I get 9. That's my strategy. I'm going to try to hit 2 bets on this thing. Bucks win by 7.
Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
The Dave Smith Show.
Randy Mueller, in all your years watching the National Football League, how do you explain a 44-year-old like Tom Brady winning Super Bowls? He's better than he was when he was 25.
I think the great thing about it also is that doesn't it look like he's having more fun underneath a little bit of a black cloud hung over him in New England, the intensity that's been ratcheted down a bit, and he's winning and having fun. You're not supposed to be able to do both, right?
The Dave Smith Show. Weekends at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Pharrell.
Coast to coast! Kyle Shanahan, dude, you're a tool. Honestly, I don't like this guy. And, I was friends with his father. I don't understand why the son turned out to be such a male organ. Kyle Shanahan. I'm about sick and tired up to here with this guy. Bro, you're a dork. Loser. I will bet my bottom dollar that guy was a narc when he was a kid.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Sports Map all night.
Listen, I'm scrolling around my YouTube TV subscription trying to find Fresno State going up against UNLV. It also apparently on Friday night on NBC features Curling Night in America. The United States against Denmark. Do we have no other marketing gurus that they just stole the name from Football Night in America? They're like, hey, we're going to start airing curling. Guys, we got to come up with a name for it. I got it. Can't miss. Curling Night in America. And the best part about that is somebody in that boardroom said, that's a great idea. That right there is what we need. Vision, foresight, courage, and frankly, strokes of genius. USA Curling Night in America. That is what you're treated to on a Friday night.
Sports Map all night with Bill Schmidt.
Weeknights at 10 Eastern.
The Dave Smith Show.
Joey Chestnut, the greatest athlete this country has ever produced, was defeated not by one of his fellow male competitors. He was defeated by Miki Sudo, the women's world champion. She gave birth 50 days ago, comes back from that, and defeats Chestnut in the World Buffalo Wings Eating Contest. This would be like a woman who just gave birth, going to the NBA, making a roster, being the league MVP, and winning the championship. Why isn't this being covered?
The Dave Smith Show, weekends at 9 p.m. Eastern on the SportsMap Radio Network.
The Dave Smith Show.
I don't understand. What is so difficult about knowing when and when not to use your timeouts? If you use your